Melinda, a young woman from a small coastal town, always felt out of place. While her friends dreamed of steady jobs, Melinda wanted to run, literally. She dreamed of competing in the National Marathon, a grueling 42-kilometer race that drew the country's best athletes. But Melinda wasn't a natural runner. She was clumsy, often out of breath, and the townsfolk laughed. You? A marathoner? Stick to something safe. Melinda didn't listen. She saw the marathon as her chance to prove she could be more than her small town expected. She started training at dawn, jogging along the rocky beach, her shoes crunching against pebbles. She fell often, twisting ankles and scraping elbows, but each fall fueled her fire. She studied running techniques on her old phone, mimicking videos late into the night. Her savings went to a pair of second-hand running shoes, worn but sturdy. As the marathon date approached, doubt crept in. Her training runs were slow, and her longest distance was barely half the race. The night before registration closed, Melinda hesitated. What if I fail in front of everyone? But she thought of her late father, who'd always said, "Courage isn't about winning, it's about starting." She signed up, heart pounding. Race day arrived, a chilly morning with thousands of runners at the starting line. Melinda felt small among the sleek, confident athletes. The gun fired, and the crowd surged forward. Melinda paced herself, ignoring the runners speeding past. By kilometer 10, her legs ached. By 20, her lungs burned, and she was near the back of the pack. Spectators cheered, but some whispered, "She won't make it." At kilometer 30, disaster struck. Melinda's knee buckled, pain shooting through her leg. She stumbled, nearly collapsing. The medical tent was nearby, and a volunteer urged her to stop. Melinda's vision blurred with tears, but she pictured her father's words and the countless mornings she dragged herself out of bed. She taped her knee, gritted her teeth, and kept going, limping but moving. The final kilometers were a blur of pain and willpower. The crowd's cheers grew louder as Melinda neared the finish line, now among the last runners. With 100 meters left, she heard a roar. Her townsfolk, who doubted her, were now cheering her name. Exhausted, she sprinted, crossing the finish line as the clock ticked just under the cutoff. She collapsed, sobbing, not because she'd won, but because she'd finished what she started. Melinda didn't place in the top ranks, but her story spread. The town that once laughed now celebrated her. She inspired others. A shy teenager started jogging, and an older man dusted off his bike. Melinda's race wasn't about a medal. It was about showing what's possible when you refuse to quit. In life's marathons, whether chasing a career, overcoming fears, or proving yourself, aren't about being the fastest. They're about starting, even when you're not ready, and pushing through pain and doubt. Melinda's story reminds us that every step forward, no matter how slow or shaky, builds the strength to cross your finish line. You are like Melinda, facing your own race daily. Take that first step, because finishing is its own victory.